What's up, y'all? Here we have a Qorvex build. I'm sure a Warframe you haven't seen in a while. In this build we're using all 4 of his original abilities, even the Pillar, which is the ability that usually gets subsumed out. But it's kind of important for this build, but you don't need it, so if you don't want it, you can also subsume it out, but it's really fun using abilities that aren't normally used. So it's a Rack the Dark Dagger build. Radiation status effects leech, damage on enemies with radiation status effects. Leech 5% of the damage to shields. So here's the Qorvex build. We're using a normal flow because I haven't formatted him enough yet. Exchange it for primed flow, put in primed sure-footed. Today and for the next 3 days it is a affinity weekend, so now is your best time to do leveling, especially if you didn't level this guy after thinking he was bad. We're using Arcane Strike even though we have attack speed mods on the melee weapon because I just like more attack speed. Precision Intensify for even more damage on the 4. You don't really need strength on these other ones any more than they have. The 2 does give damage vulnerability, but not too important. The 1 does give more damage if you can put more strength on it, and the amount of damage that the 1 does is not too bad, at least up until level 500 or so, so you can make your own decisions about that. Using Archon Stretch with the Doriga and Hellstrom. On my Hellstrom I have Gas and Electricity for even more CC and stuns. We're also using Equilibrium, Streamline, Blind Rage, Overextended, which is important. These other ones you can switch out, to how you want, but Overextended and I would say Adaptation, because I'm not using Rolling Guard on this build, are really important for the radius of the 1, the pillars, and the length of the walls. Other than that, it also helps the explosion radius of the 4, which is very nice because explosion radius is what procs the pillars of light that come out of the enemies, even if you hit just one enemy, causing them all to take good damage. I also have a Grim War for my secondary with just a normal regen build and auger mods so that I can kind of shield gate. The point of the shield gate isn't to really, use it as survivability, but instead as a way to start regaining your shields again, especially without dying. So we're gonna test it on 20 Corrupted Heavy Gunners level 170. I'm not gonna pause the AI because I'm stupid. I'm not gonna pause the AI because there's really kind of no need. His survivability is just really good how it is base. Obviously it's also a radiation proc, so it's not like they're aiming for you exactly. Let's actually do that. I am gonna pause it because they're gonna die too fast if I'm focusing on attacking them. So let's just take a slow look at the damage. The Dark Dagger using melee influence is obviously gonna be very strong. Oh, brother. It's always gonna be very strong. We're also using the Burst and Prime, I forgot to mention, with the Punch Through evolution number 2, because Qorvex has over 450 armor, and he does line them up in a line. So let's activate them here. So that makes it obviously much easier to shoot down with the Punch Through. I think when I first got my burst in, the first thing I thought of was Qorvex because of how, he puts them in a line. But then I didn't like how he was back then, so I ended up dropping him. But I'm glad I came back to him. He's very nice. Obviously, by the way, if you're not auto attacking with your melee weapon, you won't be getting shield back. So only use the burst in to kill enemies that are being annoying or for fun, I guess, and easier missions. But if you take the time to shoot with your burst in, you're gonna lose your shield and you could end up dying. So I'm also using Nerimon to keep my combo count. And we'll go test now on Lua's Steel Path. to see a practical example. Okay, there'll be a cut here because I completely forgot to show off the ability damage of Qorvex because I don't always use his 4 since they're dead before I get the chance. But if you do want to use the abilities, you can expect about this much damage. I mean, I don't know why I say about, like, yeah, expect this much damage. They'll always die because this pillar is reapplying the radiation status effect, and so as long as it's not an Eximus, they'll end up dead pretty quick. I will show it off on Eximuses as well to show the difference in damage as well as my normal weapons. Gosh fucking damn it. I'll unpause them as well so it's a bit of like a more correct showing. I actually completely forgot you're invulnerable during your 4, so the build is even stronger because the only reason you would ever have an issue is when your shield breaks and you can't get it back. But all you need to do is hit your 4 and you'll get some shields back, which will make you able to leech them again with the Rack the Dark Dagger. So here's just showing the damage against Eximus with the 4. It won't one-shot them, I think. I mean, last time I remembered, yeah. It should take 2 or 3, but they'll end up dead. I would just recommend auto attacking them, though. No reason to do all that. Okay, here we are. I completely forgot to use the 4 in the testing, so I'm gonna put a separate section of the video at the start. So if you're here now and wonder why there's just like a weird cut and then to me testing out the 4, that is why. Okay, I'm also on an Omnia Fisher as well because there happens to be an Omnia Fisher here. Level 203 enemies instead of, I don't know, I think it's normally 150 or something like that. We won't really get a chance to test anything for a while because they're gonna die off screen for a while. That's how melee influence works. So like, I'll cut back to when we have more enemies around. Okay, we have enemies lined up a little here for the 4, so we can place down the pillar, use the 4, and they'll all die, at least in this radius. Not Eximuses though. Eximuses will probably usually be living that, but you can take care of them any which way you want. Let's try the burst now as well to see how that works. If I think I just activated it. I know what just happened, but okay. In the testing, it was kind of hard to get the first kills for my galvanized, but not here, obviously. You can also move and place the 1, so you can be kind of mobile if you wanna specifically use like the 1 ability. It's pretty quick to place down. This is without any like yellow shards or anything, so you can just walk, place the fucking pillar, and then auto attack with melee influence procs to kill everyone in that area, move on, and so on and so forth. And do remember, this is all with Bane of the Murmur because I was too lazy to switch it out in this low level of a mission, but you would be dealing a little more damage with the melee weapon. Well, I guess a lot more if you use the correct thing. Another thing to say, if you do want to switch out the one, not use the one, you can switch to Wisp's ability. I have another build here for Wisp's ability. Can I remember the name? Breach Surge. That would work very well as well. Or for his 4 damage. Okay, and that's the end of my Qorvex build guide. I hope you can go have fun using his rarely seen pillars, and have a great day.